بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Praise to be Allah, Lord of the worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, Master of the judgment. It is you we worship, and upon you we call for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not of those against whom there is anger, nor of those who are misguided. Amen.
A very good morning to you all. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. And knowledge makes you great, says Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Kanachur College of Nursing Sciences, a unit of Kanachur Islamic Education Trust, was established in the year 2016 under the prominent leadership of Dr. Haji Ukemonu at Natakal in Mangaluru. The institute's vision is to impart quality education by upholding the values in the field of nursing education, practice, and research. Our mission is to achieve excellence in nursing research and to produce nurse leaders to empower the healthcare system. The institution already registered significant growth within a short span of line by the steadfast support by the chairman and trustees of Kanachur Islamic Education Trust. Research, in common parlance, refers to search of knowledge. In order to achieve the mission and vision, the institution is constantly organizing conferences and workshops, as well as conducts taught programs and research activities. One such conference is organized today in the field of research in order to deepen the knowledge as to how to put a strong foundation for research by right way of doing literature review. On behalf of the organization, we are very pleased to welcome you all to the conference. It's a great honor for me to welcome the esteemed chief guest of today's inaugural session, Dr. Sucharita Suresh, Associate Professor, Statistician, Father Muller Medical College, Mangaluru. A great lady with rich knowledge and competency in the field of statistics, as well as widely known in healthcare profession and to all of us. She is dearly affectionate, always smiling and ready to assist in research projects of undergraduate, postgraduate, and research scholars. We are highly proud of you, dear madam, and on behalf of our organization, I accord a warm welcome to you.
Nursing research has a long and distinguished record in the history of nursing practices. The tremendous scope of research is elaborating the scientific base of the knowledge and practice of the nursing professionals. Since the research cannot be conducted in an intellectual vacuum, review of literature splash light on the existing knowledge which enable the researcher to assess the strength and weakness of previous studies, identify research gaps, and propose novel research directions. This also helps the development of knowledge by summarizing and evaluating the current state of research. Considering this fact, today Kanachur College of Nursing Sciences is organizing a national conference on Literature View, the Foundation for Research, with the objectives of understanding the concept of literature search and its process, identifying the relevant source of ROL, critically analyze procured reviews, and gain skill to avoid plagiarisms in literature search. Let us see the highlights of today. First session is on concept of a review of literature, which will be dealt by an eminent speaker, Dr. Sunanda GT, Professor, Dharwad Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience. The second session is on read, analyze, critique, sources, will be conducted by a well-known speaker, Dr. Baby S. Naik, Professor, Manipal College of Nursing, Mahi. Third session is on evade plagiarism, effective implication, is going to expertise by an eminent speaker, Dr. Gopakumar V., Head, Knowledge Center, Kerala University of Digital Science, Kerala. Scientific paper presentation and e-poster competition are also planned during this day. The difficulty of literature is not to write, but what to write, what you mean, said by Robert Louis Stevenson. This conference will help the delegate to overcome the information overload and to develop skill in identifying, selecting, organizing, and writing the ROL in more scientific manner, which promote the novelty of the research. On behalf of organizing committee, I, Sharon Joseph, organizing secretary of this conference, welcome respected dignitaries, resource person, and delegates to the National Conference 2023. I accord my good wishes for a productive and memorable conference to all. Thank you all.
Usually conferences will be conducted on research methodology as a whole, and in that 1.5 hours will be dedicated for a review of literature. And review of literature, how to write, how to summarize, how to avoid plagiarism, and how the sources will be, which source you have to select the reviews, and how to write references. So many things it's not possible in 1.5 hours. So it is the first of its kind now, exclusively on review of literature. So congratulations having this workshop exclusively on review of literature. Now the question is, literature is so important? If you ask me this question, yes, it's definitely very, very important in research. Now the question is, what is research? You know that research is systematic and scientific search for knowledge, rather new knowledge. But in academic setup, what happens is we cannot take up some studies wherein we can give entirely new knowledge, because it requires a lot of financial backup and then administrative backup. So we can think of added knowledge to the already existing knowledge. New knowledge, but added knowledge to the already existing knowledge. Now the question is, how to know what is existing, right? So there where you need the help of literature. Okay, so literatures are treasure of research. It helps in 3 stages for the researcher. In 3 stages, literature helps for the researchers. In the first stage, before selecting the topic, before initiating the study, you have to select the topic. To finalize the topic, you need to read lot of literature. Usually when the student joins the department, we say, see, you have a dissertation, you have to select topics. Do one thing, select 2-3 topics, come back to me after 1 week, then we'll finalize the topic, right? Students will come back after 1 week without any topic. If you ask why, you have to select the topic. There are no studies only left for me to do. All the studies been done. Whatever I select, it has been done. Right? So where is the problem? Actually, what is the problem? They are not able to identify the correct research gap. Okay, that research gap can be in terms of place, or in terms of setting, or in terms of male, female, or adolescent, or adults. In any way, maybe the same study, you can change it with the settings, have identifying right inclusion and exclusion criteria. So that is in the first stage, selection of the topic. And in the second stage, after selecting the topic, you selected the topic. After that, you have a lot of other works. You should get the permission from scientific committee. You should get the permission from ethical committee, and then finally from the university, right? So what they want the proposal of your study, okay? So proposal means it should include need for the study, it should include population of the study, setting, sample, sampling techniques, sample size, inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, and also you have to give statistical methods used in your study and referencing. So it is a blueprint of whole study. So to write the proposal, okay, including population, sample, whatever I told you, so who has to help you? Again, literatures, okay? So that is in the second stage, to write your proposal. Then in the third stage, after selecting the topic, after getting the permission, and then at the end of analysis, writing stage of your thesis or paper. While writing, if at all your dissertation, then you have to exclusively give one chapter on review of literature, wherein you have to give the summary of literatures, in the sense what is existing knowledge regarding the topic which you have selected. So you have to select those reviews, literatures, it is related to only about your topic, and you have to give as one chapter in that. And also it is required to write the appropriate discussion. So discussing your results with the other studies. Fantastic discussion will come out with that. And finally, one fabulous interpretation you can draw at the end. So in these three stages, you need the help of literature. So first stage, second stage, and third stage, if you look at it, the whole research process. So literatures are the help, they are the guiding force through your entire study. So I told you, literatures are very precious. They are the treasures of research. Now at this point, in this occasion, I want to bring it out one point to the people, those who are doing research, rather PhD studies, those who are involved in PhD studies. If you look at the literature, there is a lot of research gap in terms of measuring instruments. That standardized scale, what you call, okay, to measure certain concepts or constructs or whatever studies you take up. If you want any measuring instrument, in the sense tool, and it may not be available in the literature. It may not be existing. Or maybe what happens is you take up some scale, you try to modify a little bit and use it in your study. When you are modifying, the original entire reliability and validity will be lost. So, but then what to do? You don't have any other choice. You have to modify, and you might have to use it in your study. So what I'm telling is that there is a lot of research gap in that way. You can think of doing research wherein you can develop a research tool, standardize the scale to measure certain constructs. This PhD, now recently I came across few PhD students. They are doing mixed method of research, wherein qualitative and quantitative research is involved. Qualitative aspect, what they do is, they try to construct or they try to develop a research instrument for their quantitative setup or quantitative stage. So selecting the, developing the any research instrument means qualitative research, it takes lot of your effort. Lot of effort you put, you develop one instrument and you use it only for your study and you submit your PhD thesis and sit. No, what I'm telling is that you put lot of effort in qualitative research, try to do some more, put some more effort, trying to standardize that and try to publish, and one measuring instrument or standardized scale will be there in your name. So, think over it. And or otherwise, it can be developing a scale itself is one, or itself can be a PhD study. You can take up systematic review in the first phase, and in the second phase, you can develop a scale for your PhD study, and you can publish. It becomes a standardized scale, and any other researcher, if needed, they can use their scale in their study. So in that way, there is a lot of research gap. Think over it. Maybe for student research, maybe it is not feasible. It takes little time, lot of time. Maybe 2 years is not sufficient, maybe. Okay? So, but PhD studies, you can take up this particular research question. Okay? So with that, I will end my talk. I thank the organizers for having me here with you and speak few words. Thank you so much. And I wish you all happy, fruitful, and enlightened conference. Thank you so much.
Literature and the review of literature, search and research are one of the most important part of our life to deal with the human beings. In fact, if you go through the whole history of medicine, it is all the search and the research and all those things which has come into existence is because of the human curiosity. As you all know very well, curiosity kills the cat. You know who said it? And this curiosity is the one which keeps all of us going for the betterment of our life and the betterment of the humanity. I do not want to talk anything, the methodology of how to do the research. Our people are there to tell you how exactly do it. But I would like to give you some inspirations so that you can really think of not only making a search and research, but also some inventions. If you go through the medical history, if you take the invention of insulin, you ever heard of insulin? Insulin is given for diabetes, and particularly for type 1 diabetes, there is no other treatment except insulin. And insulin is the only drug which can keep the people alive who are having a type 1 diabetes, which occurs usually in children, and the amount and the percentage of type 1 diabetes is going bounds in India as well as whole of the world. Who found out? It was by the students. Banting, Best, MacLeod and Collage. Out of which the best was the student. He was an MBBS student of 3rd year. He, along with this professor, they started thinking that there should be a way out to bring a recourse to the humanity's most important problem. And this particular invention was made in Toronto, Canada. Of course, we have a problem with Canada now. That's a different matter altogether. But then it was in Canada, in the hot summer of Canada. There, these people started taking the dogs into the laboratory and cut them into size, remove the pancreas, put the pancreas back, develop diabetes, and develop the cure for diabetes. The reason why? Because this is all what you should start thinking. There is no question of going on doing whatever our peers and our forefathers have done. We have to do some change. And the change should start from us. There is nothing that we cannot do. And the topmost scientists of the world are not born top people in the head. If you take even Albert Einstein, he was thrown out of the class. Okay, So this is the way. Or if you take our own Microsoft persons, they were all, none of them were very good students. And to research and research, you don't require to have a lot of brain, but you require a lot of curiosity. If you take the invention of penicillin, you heard of penicillin? Penicillin is an antibiotic we give for infection. In fact, that was the first antibiotic to come into this world, which cured so many diseases and infection in this world, and that was done by Alexander Fleming, not Ian Fleming. I think you all must be knowing Ian Fleming. You know Ian Fleming? My name is Bond, James Bond. That is the fellow. This is Alexander Fleming. He found out this invention by chance, and that is called as serendipity. Serendipity means by accident you invent something. So this review of literature is one of the most important things, which again tells you that we have to be in touch with the latest developments in the world. If you take any part of medicine or a science or a geography, geology, oceanology, or even space technology, things are changing every day, day by day. And if you think that you have read enough and have enough knowledge of what is happening and you try to relax, then you are sadly mistaken. Because things are changing like nothing before. The 21st century and the 22nd centuries are going to be a changing of every day, and whatever you think, for example, we had recently COVID, we had some kind of treatment. The treatment of COVID went on changing every day. And now also, of course, we do not have the perfect treatment for that. So that being the case, I would like to call on all of you and to myself also, that we have to be in touch with whatever is happening in this world and in touch with the reality, and the future is going to be very exciting. Tomorrow, if I tell you that there is going to be a new human being formed. Recently, about 10 days ago, they made an embryo without fertilization. Do you know that? Have you come across that coming recently in so many papers and news? In fact, it became one of the top news of all the news channels, that they created an embryo without a fertilization of ova and sperm. That means people started creating things from nothing. They are one of our best magicians who can create a human being. We don't know. They have created embryo, and the embryo, of course, not started having the heartbeat. It might start having it. So tomorrow, you don't know what is going to happen. A person like me may be formed. After 10 years later, there may be another person exactly looking like me. Don't know. It is possible. And hence, you have to be very careful and very, very particular in reading and going through the journals and the literature and start searching and researching. I wish you all the best on today's occasion of your conference on literature. I hope this will bring a lot of things and changes in you and all of us. Thank you so much.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹಿತವಚನ ಹೇಳಿದಂಥ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಚೀಫ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಚಿನಾಥ್ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಇಸ್ಮಾಯಿಲ್ ಹೆಜ್ಮಾಡಿ, ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಡೀನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪುತ್ರ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್, ರೋಹನ್ ಮೋನಿಸ್, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸೂಪರ್ಡೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಣಚೂರು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಈ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತರೂ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಯಾರೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಮಗೆ ತಾಯಿಯ ಆರೈಕೆ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ತಾಯಿ ಕೂಡ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಏಳಿಗೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅವನ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ, ಆ ಮಗುವಿನ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಹಾರ, ಅದು ಹಾಲು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಅಧ್ಯಯನವೇ. ಇದು ದಿನ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುವ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಅಲ್ಲದೇ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಅಧ್ಯಾಯ. ಒಂದು ಗಿಡ ಮರಗಳನ್ನು ನೆಡಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಅದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗಿಡ ನೆಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೆಳೆಯುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಹುಟ್ಟು ಬೀಜ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ, ಈಗ ಈ ಗಿಡ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬಕೆಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಬಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಗಿಡ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಡು ಮಣ್ಣು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಕಾಡು ಮಣ್ಣು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಜಂಗಲ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಎಲೆಗಳು ಬಿದ್ದು ನಾಶವಾಗಿ ಅದು ಮಣ್ಣಾಗಿ 1 ಇಂಚು 1.5 ಇಂಚು ಮಣ್ಣು ಕಾಡು ಮಣ್ಣು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅದನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಜ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ಗಿಡ ಬೆಳೀತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಅಧ್ಯಯನದಿಂದ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ದಿನ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಉತ್ತಮ ರೀತಿಯ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅದು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಗಳು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಈ ಕಲಿಕೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಲ್ಲುವಂಥದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಈ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನವರು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೇನು ಮಾನದಂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕಲಿಯುವುದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅದು ಅವರವರ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಕರ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಓದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸಾಲು ಮರದ ತಿಮ್ಮಕ್ಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗಳು. ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅವರು ಹೆಬ್ಬೆಟ್ಟು, ಅನ್ಪಡು, ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅವರಿಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ದರ್ಜೆಯ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕಾರು, ಬಂಗ್ಲೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಳ, ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ದರ್ಜೆಯ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರ ಸವಲತ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಅವರು ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅನೇಕ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಮರಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನು ನೆಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಅವರನ್ನು ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೂಡ ಗೌರವಿಸಿ ಇಂಥ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ತಾಯಿ ಅರ್ಹರಾಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಇದರಿಂದಲೇ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು ಕಲಿಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಹತ್ವ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಲ್ಡಾನ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ರು. ಹಾಗೆಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಕಣಚೂರು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು, ನನ್ನ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ, ನನ್ನ ಗುಣ, ನನ್ನ ಕಲಿಸುವ ಗುಣ ಏನು ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಅವರು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವರು ಈ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೂ ಹೇಳುವುದಷ್ಟೇ, ನೀವು ಕಲಿಯಿರಿ, ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿ. ಈ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಾಗಲಿ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತು ಈ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ, ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ, ಈ ಪರಿಸರಕ್ಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕುಟುಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ತನ್ನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್.
Heart is a magnet of miracles. Good morning to all gathered here. I deem it a great honor and privilege to extend a vote of thanks on this auspicious day. To begin with, I thank Lord Almighty for His countless blessings showered on us. We are very much obliged to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sucharita Suresh, Associate Professor, Statistician, Father Miller Medical College, Mangalore. Despite her busy schedule, she has found time to grace this occasion. Madam, your words of wisdom, vision, and passion are indeed an inspiration for all of us. Your presence has added grandeur to today's program. Thank you, ma'am. I devote my sincere gratitude to our most respected Dr. Haji UK Monu sir, Chairman, Kanachur Islamic Education Trust, for his words of encouragement. His able guidance has always encouraged us. Thank you, sir, for your kindness, interest, and continued support. I extend my deepest thanks to Mr. Abdul Rahman sir, Director, Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, for being with us in all our endeavors. Thank you, sir. I thank all the managing trustees for their support in all our achievements. Let me express my gratitude towards Dr. Muhammad Ismail Hejmadi, Chairman, Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Council, for his gracious presence and words of wisdom. Thank you, sir. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. I would like to acknowledge the facilitator behind this event, that is our dearest principal and conference chairperson, Professor Mrs. Molly Saldana. Words are not sufficient to show gratitude for your continuous support and advice, which have greatly helped towards the success of this program. Thank you, ma'am. We express our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Ratnakar UP, Dean, Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, for your gracious presence. I would like to express our sincere thanks to Dr. Rohan Monis, Chief Administrative Medical Officer, Kanachur Hospital and Research Center. Thank you, sir, for your valuable presence and enormous support. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Harish Shetty, Medical Superintendent, Kanachur Hospital and Research Center, for his enormous cooperation in all our achievements. I owe a debt of gratitude to Dr. Sunanda GT and Dr. Baby S. Nayak, today's resource persons, for their valuable presence and support. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Mrs. Sherin Joseph, Vice Principal and Conference Organizing Secretary, for a wholehearted support in organizing this event. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. Shanwas Manipadi, HOD Forensic Medicine, for his valuable presence. Thank you, sir.
पंजाब सिंधु